Belu?
Well, time for us to look at Junior Achievement Nigeria. We have some representatives of that body with us this morning to discuss the Venture in Management Program and Lead Camp, which is a program designed to address youth unemployment in the country, as well as work readiness for core members. Folusho Gbadamosi is Executive Director, Junior Achievement Nigeria, and as well as Dr. Henrietta Onwebuze, who is Director, MBA Programs, Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University. They both join us virtually. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Let me begin with Folusho Gbadamosi. It'll be interesting to find out. Let's just first of all begin with that. I mean, you're the one leading this program, so to speak. So talk to us about it for those who may have no idea what you're talking about.
All right. Thank you so much for having us, and good morning. So Junior Achievement Nigeria, is an organization that is in the development sector, and we run programs that empower the youth. Our focus this morning is on two of our major programs. One is Lead Camp, and the other one is the Venture in Management Program, which is in collaboration with the Lagos Business School. Let me start with the Lead Camp, and then we'll segue into the other one because Dr. Henrietta is, part of that program. So the first program, Lead Camp, is an empowerment camp for young girls. And we usually take SS2 and SS3 students from all over the country. Typically, pre-COVID, we would, host them in Lagos, we would fly them down, and it would be a residential week-long program where we cover all kinds of topics. So everything from finance to personal hygiene, to technology, and just so on and so forth. Everything to kind of get them to understand the importance of all these different fields, but also for them to see women in these fields so that they know that there are things that they can actually aspire to be. So what we usually find is that the girls leave the program supercharged, energized. I mean, a lot of them have never interacted with these types of women before. They've never been taught these types of things before because obviously the school learning is not, is not as hands-on as what you learn when you're outside of school. And so they get to learn quite a lot from that. And that program celebrated its 20th year this year. We have a lot of amazing alumni who also come back and speak to the girls. So this was really, really encouraging for them this year, especially. I think about a third of our speakers this year are actually alumni from the program. So the girls were so happy to see that, wow, you mean I can actually, aspire to one day also empower people that, like I have been empowered. The second program is Venture in Management Program, which is just absolutely, absolutely amazing. That is in partnership with Lagos Business School. And that program is really just all about taking outstanding youth core members. So typically we would take about 50 of them. We usually get hundreds and hundreds of applications, over 700 applications, sometimes over 1,000. And we'll, kind of then have to go through all of that. It's a real rigorous process of selecting the ones that, will then end up in the program. They go through interview processes, they fill out application forms, they do all those good things. And then we then select the top 50. This year was our first year running it hybrid. So typically it would also be fully residential. We would fly everyone into Lagos. We put them in a hotel close to the Lagos Business School. But because of the pandemic, obviously, we had to be careful. So this year we ran it hybrid. So we actually had more people this year than we normally do. We had about 99 participants. So we had 50 in person and about 49 or so online. And that program is really to empower them on so many different things. I think I'm going to let Dr. Henrietta speak on that because it really is her baby. And I think it's better for her to, kind of just tell us what it's really about. But that program is in its 21st year and also has lots of fantastic alumni. I mean, the alumni are people that are running their own organizations now, and they run it in different sectors, whether it's in the development sector, whether it's in the private sector. And the most beautiful thing about these programs is that they're learning about nation building. They're learning about giving back. They're learning about problem solving. They're learning that it's not always about complaining about all the issues, about the unemployment. Why don't you solve a problem, that you can also then be empowered and make some money from, also hire people and all that good stuff. But let me let Dr. Henrietta speak because this is really her baby. So over to you, Dr.
Folusho, before we let you go, before you sneak away, what is the age range of the girls we're talking about here?
Right. Okay. So the age range for the Lead Camp, which is for girls, we typically take girls that are from the ages of 15 to 18.
Okay.
No, that's not true. I'm sorry, 13 to 18. So the reason why we have that range is because even though we focus on SS2 and SS3, you know, depending on what part of the country you're from, the age that you are in those classes might differ. So we tend to have a bit of a wide range so that we can let other girls in. The other thing with that program is that this year was the second year that we ran it virtual. So we actually opened it up to more people than we typically would.
What about the VIMP?
Okay, the VIMP is for coppers, right? So so if you're currently serving, so you have to be currently serving. And so that's really that's the major criteria, because once again, we've noticed that everybody's age for serving is different. You know what I mean? Because people finish university at different ages, depending on what university they went to, depending on the challenges that, you know, that they might have had. Because, you know, sometimes there are strikes and all these other issues.
All right.
So it's really for those that are currently serving.
Okay. Dr. Onwegbuze, well, she handed you the baton a while ago, but we just wanted to let her go for a bit. So you may want to begin by speaking to some of the issues she's raised and directed at you.
Okay. Right, so thank you for having us, as Felicia said previously, and I still think that it's the thunder is for JAM, because they are the ones who brought the program to us, and we decided to do it in a sense as our CSR, because we typically look at a higher age range, and so we saw this as an opportunity to really contribute to our mission to developing leaders for Africa and the rest of the world, and so Genuine Achievement comes with these enthusiastic young people who have been selected, and we do our best to expose them to what I would summarize as a leadership development program that we hope will transform them in various ways. So the program was designed to open their eyes beyond the immediate needs that they may have, to see that they could make a difference. So I typically believe that the academia needs to begin to transform from producing job seekers, people who go to school to get a job, to producing job creators, which is what today's society needs all over the world. There's a global unemployment problem, and that's because schools are constantly churning out more students than jobs available. And so it doesn't make sense that we continue to produce more people who can only seek jobs, when we could also be producing job creators, enabling people to employ others. So this was an opportunity to also help them see that job seeking is not the only option to earn a living, because indeed, in pre-colonial times, we were mainly, in fact, that was all we knew, entrepreneurship. We didn't call it that fancy name, but that was how we survived. And unemployment did not exist because you had families of farmers, blacksmiths, fishermen, herders, or whatever it was. But society was served through these various things. So when designing the VIMP program, the whole idea was to not just inform them, but transform them by providing them with strong management knowledge, strong leadership knowledge as well as political awareness. It's about time young people understood that they can make a difference in the political sphere. I've looked at different countries and their histories, and the change didn't come from government, it came from the people. And so if we want to see a better Nigeria, we need to create a better ecosystem, and young people need to know how they can begin to participate properly, systematically, to seeing better leadership emerge, and also understand how management works so that they can also understand how to run businesses successfully by being impactful in solving problems.
Okay. Dr. Onwegbuze, please tell us briefly about your just concluded VIMP.
Right, so they were in LBS from the 2nd of August to the 6th of August, which is Monday to Friday. And there were 100 of them. They started off with 65 online and 35 in class due to our COVID protocols. Eventually, we had to ask more to come to school because we could see that not everybody was having a smooth time online due to internet challenges. But they were exposed to sessions on problem solving and decision making, data analysis, understanding the future of work with AI, robotics, machine learning, etc. We had entrepreneurs come and share experiences with them. We got Innocent to actually come in by Zoom to speak to them about his experiences, and that was quite amazing because he spoke about the need for integrity and how it has helped him, and hard work and going the extra mile, standing out. They really, really loved that. We spoke to them about entrepreneurship. I spoke to them about, it was just a week full of things to empower them in different ways. I called it a time release pill, something that they would need all through their lives. And they were thrilled. I was happy to see them say thank you all the time. Sometimes we believe that millennials are not appreciative, but these ones were different. And I was wondering, what's different about these guys? They were perfectly saying thank you every day, at every minute. I'm so happy to be here. They were really, and that was refreshing to see. They brought a new kind of life to our school, which is full of executives, CEOs, directors. Now we had young blood who were excited about what they were learning. So it was just a week of development, in every aspect. Also personally, we talked about ethics, talked about honing your personal skills, your character, and how that affects business.
Okay, you said you also taught them some political awareness. How was their reaction to that? Were they really interested in it?
Very much so. Awesome. I think that was one of their, if not their best session, because the speaker was at their level, talking with them, singing with them. But it was, something we're all faced with. We now understand what how leadership can affect our lives. So it wasn't, they were super engaged from beginning to the end.
Well, I would be interested in how interested are they in taking on some of the things they must have heard? Because as well as I do that many people feel politics is too dirty. The young people don't want to be a part of it. How did you, communicate to them about that?
So I didn't speak. Joyce Daniels took the session, and she was able to take them through a step-by-step process. So the thing is, politics is much more than the dirty aspects. There's more to it, and there is a system to it. We saw that in the way Obama, who was the least expected candidate to win, won not just once, but twice. So the whole idea is to help people understand how the various arms of government work, how the Constitution affects all of us, the importance of having an enabling environment, and how they can begin gradually to participate in influencing the way things are going. So it's not an overnight thing. It was not going to be upturned by a revolution or anything, but there are many ways to do it. And one of the ways that can clearly influence politics is the financial, economic emancipation of the masses. When people are poor, they can't think. So there's a direct relationship between entrepreneurship or business and the political outcomes we have. Poverty feeds corruption. So long as Nigerians remain impoverished, it's going to be very difficult to upturn, the status quo. So through the various businesses that they can start, and I help them see, because my area is entrepreneurship, that the best businesses are actually those that are problem-driven, okay? Find out what problem you can solve, because a problem means people are looking for a solution. And if you're the one providing that solution at the right price, you will have customers. Money will chase you. Money chases value. And so the more of them do this, the more jobs are created, the more we gradually eliminate poverty. And you see, and as people become financially emancipated, they can now begin to think with their heads, not with their stomachs.
All right. Well, Ms. Badamasi, let me ask you this. Part of the problem that Lead Camp wants to solve is addressing the Social Development Goal 5, which is gender equality and empowerment of women and girls. Given the challenges that we have in our climate, how tasking has that been? What are some of the challenges that you have seen and know that we need to contend with if that problem is going to be solved?
Okay, so I think that one of the biggest challenges when it comes to that, obviously, is the education of the girl child and the fact that we still have many cultural biases against girls, against women. We also have a lot of things that girls contend with that the male gender doesn't. And those are some of the things that we try to speak to them about at the Lead Camp. It's almost like thinking about something as a catalyst, right? The more of these girls that you're able to educate and empower, the more they are able to go into their, into their communities and also empower others as well, able to talk to them, able to teach them about what they've learned. the amazing thing about these young women is that, very, very similar to what Dr. Henrietta said about the youth, they really are eager to learn. A lot of them come from backgrounds that they have never met these kinds of people that are speaking to them before. In fact, they don't even think that some of these things are possible. I remember there was a mom I spoke to for one of the girls from Lead Camp, and she sells in the market, and she said to me that her daughter wants to be one of these types of banker people, and that she has no clue, how to even expose her to such people. So she was so grateful for the opportunity that her daughter got to attend Lead Camp. She told me that her daughter told her about all what she learned. So I think for me, it's really the fact that we're able to catalyze people, we're able to teach them things and expose them to things that they've never been exposed to before. And they can then go back into their neighborhoods, into their communities, and express that these things are actually possible. It's beyond the days of, women are only for this or women are only for that. What you see those women on the screen talking to you about, you too can be there. We also have a very, very good mix of, speakers and also of students. So we don't focus on, let me put it this way, on the upper class, because we know that a lot of the upper class and, even the upper middle class already have exposure to this. Most of our participants are from lower income backgrounds. And so that is really the way that we're able to really make a change, because really that is the majority of the society. The youth are also the majority of the society. I mean, we've got, I believe they said that it's over 50% of the country is actually under the age of 19. So we have so many youth that, don't get the opportunity to be exposed to the things that would help them know that they can actually have a better future. So like Dr. Henrietta said, this whole thing about entrepreneurship, it's also something that we speak to them about at the Lead Camp. We let them understand that you don't always have to wait for a job to come to you. You can also become an entrepreneur. You can solve a problem in your neighborhood. And we also have competitions for them. And during those competitions, that's when you get to see what they've learned. You get to see how the wheels in their heads have been turning, because we teach them about critical thinking and problem solving as well. And I think the best part of this all is the fact that a lot of the alumni attest to the fact that this program really transformed their lives and made them think about things beyond what they typically would have thought about and beyond what they learned in school.
This program has been going on for a while. How successful would you say it has been based on how many of your students have actually gone out and become entrepreneurs?
Okay, that's a great question. So this year at Lead Camp, a few of our alumni that spoke are actually entrepreneurs. And I think the beauty of that was that because they had experienced the program and because they are currently in entrepreneurship, they were able to express it to the girls in a way that they would understand, remembering that they too were once on the other side learning from people. Quite a lot of our alumni are actually entrepreneurs. I think that if you look at the population of women in Nigeria, even career women, a lot of them are also entrepreneurs. You find that women tend to kind of dabble between the two, where they might have a career office job in the private sector, but they also have like a business on the side. But we do
side hustle.
Yes, side hustle. But so there's a difference between the side hustle and then those that are actually fully entrepreneurs. And I would say maybe we have about 30% or so of them that are fully entrepreneurs.
Well, let me take the last one from Dr. Nwegbuzie. Is this issue of balance? This program is for all girls, the female gender, so to speak. That challenge of balance is, how significant is it, and how easy or not is it to pass on that conversation about the balance of work, life, family, profession, and all of that to these young ladies?
So while the Lead Camp is for ladies, the VIMP program was actually for both men and women. So the way we had, I'm not sure if we had more boys on the VIMP program. I think we had more men than girls.
Trust men.
So we had more boys. So the point is, there is balance in that, but it's important that everybody understands that we're different and complementary. So we don't gain when it's an all male affair or all female affair. We need each other because we think differently. And when we put the perspectives together, we get better outcomes. A good example is what we see in Rwanda. I think Rwanda is the only country in the world where they have a 64% female representation in parliament. And when you go there, I've been there like 6 or 7 times, it's absolutely amazing. You know, it's absolutely amazing. It's very clean, it works, okay? The big hotels that we don't have in Nigeria are there, you know, and it's continuously a destination for even Nigerians for their weddings.
Well, very, very interesting. I was actually asking about work-life balance, but this balance is also good. Thank you very much for
that. But I'm going there. So the first is the gender balance. And then when it comes to work-life balance, okay, I think that we have a lot to learn from other countries where we know, for example, that in the US, the wealthy spend 80% of their income on rehab for their kids. I was opportune to teach at Yale School of Management in the US in 2019, and it was the same problem because Yale is an Ivy League school, rich kids are there, and so there was a huge drug problem because that's where the people who can buy the drugs are. So if you don't spend time talking to you spend time with your children and helping them understand the do's and don'ts and why not, then you pay the price by, you know, by paying for rehab.
That's strong enough, Doctor.
Exactly.
But there are so many issues that one would have wanted to raise with you, but we're completely out of time at this moment. We have to thank you very much for your participation today on this program. Folusho Gbadamosi is Executive Director, Junior Achievement Nigeria, as well as Dr. Henrietta Nwegbuzie, who is Director, MBA Programs, Lagos Business School, Pan Atlantic University. Thank you, ladies, for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so it's the home stretch, right?
Yes, indeed.
So bring on your he. We'll be back.